If you don't win a contract and you haven't been winning any, and you're going after the same type of stuff, like the same exact type of stuff, then chances are your prices are just too high. Maybe you don't have the experience or whoever you use, and so maybe they just didn't like you. That's just the way it is. What's going on, everyone? It's Sheena, aka Sheenapreneur. Today I want to talk to you about the one thing you must do to survive in government contracting. So you're brand new to government contracting, or you're trying to pivot because things are changing in this climate. At the time of the recording of this video, it's May 2025, and you want to know, how do I survive in government contracting? Now, there's a lot of ways that you can get into it, but there's only a couple ways that you can fall out of government contracting. That's just not being consistent, not being strategic, not pricing correctly by making sure that you have enough profit and cushion for your overhead and for, putting money in your pocket, not building a strategic plan, not building past performance. These are all the things that I want to quickly talk to you about on how to stay alive in government contracting. Look, we're all going through it. We're all dealing with it. Everyone's life has probably changed in some way, even at the micro level, in 2025, with everything that has adjusted and everything that has changed. So one of the main things you have to look at is how to be strategic. Bidding on contracts is a strategy, but then also what happens if there's no more contracts that come out available for what you do. Now, luckily for my company, Foresight Industries, there's going to be a lot of contracts, pretty much for janitorial, for landscaping, for all the things that we do. But if you're in maybe more of a niche market, or you only have really one NAICS code that you focus on, one industry that you focus on, there's a chance that some of those contracts may dry up or at least pause for the time being. Also, if there's only one agency that you're targeting, people will say you need to find the agency that you're going to target and then hone in on those. Now, we all know there are several agencies within the past few months that have completely went kaput, where they are letting everyone and everything go. And so if you are only hyper-focused on those agencies, then you probably were in trouble, or you still are in trouble. So it's time to pivot, y'all. That's okay. Pivoting is okay. That's a part of the business growing pains, okay? Whether you were in government contracting or doing anything else, everyone has experienced some sort of business growing pains. So how do you want to do your strategy? Now, one of the things, like I just mentioned, if you were only focused on one agency, for the federal government, for the local government, for corporate agencies, you only focus on one, you want to try to expand that a little bit. Now, again, with our industry, facility support services, pretty much every single agency will buy from us. And a lot of people say, don't say that, but it's true. Facilities, most agencies, all agencies have at least a facility somewhere, so we can offer the service. Now, there's going to be some that's better than others based on the fact of me having a certification, or based on our geographical location, our reach in general, but you have to have a strategic plan on who else you are going to target and where else you are going to target. Let's say that your industry has, it has changed because the location of what you need to do has changed. Even if you're doing some sort of, on the local level, they have cannabis contracts. So let's just say there's another state that is allowing cannabis in some sort of way to be sold, bought and sold and used medicinally in that state. You may have to change your contract strategy because now there's more states that offer this type of thing, okay, if you will. Yes, there are cannabis contracts, so make sure you look those up. I have posted on my Weird Contract Wednesday, but I'm just saying, like, there's going to be different things that happen within government contracting that forces you to pivot, and you have to find a way to build a new strategy, whether that's working with new partners. I always say we'll be a prime, we'll be a sub, we'll do a JV, we'll do a teaming, just depending on if the vibe is right and if we can work with that particular company or that particular agency. We'll do micro contracts, whatever the case may be, because you want to always keep something rolling in. And some people really do get stuck on, if they win one contract and they're like, I'm comfortable here, and then something happens with that contract and now you have nothing. So again, I'm not saying you need to go out and get thousands of different micro contracts and then you're just kind of like managing too many things, but you have to be smart with keeping the revenue coming in, because at any time contracts can run out, or it might be time for you to be renewed. You may not get renewed, and you may not win for the second iteration of that contract. If it's a 5-year or 3-year, you may not win that next time. That's happened to us a couple of times, and it hurts deeply. Always be hustling, always be selling, always be bidding when it comes to contracts. Always network and try to build out your team, your extended team, where you have subcontractors that you can use, you have prime contractors that you can work with, and you're just truly changing the strategy of how you do business as a whole. In that same frame of mind, building out your past performance is another great way to kind of extend yourself. Like I touched on that a little bit a moment ago, but really you might say, well, I'm not too familiar with horticulture. I'm not too familiar with selling products. So I'm going to work under someone that sells products just in case there's something that I'm missing that I don't know that that I don't know. And then you're expending your past performance a little bit more without the pain of being the prime contractor and not being able to get a contract because you don't have the past performance. Now, companies are going to try to figure out why you want to work with them as a subcontractor when you don't have the past performance, but it may be a friend of yours, or maybe something else that you're bringing to the table, like the admin work or something like that. So just make sure that you are trying to build out different past performances just in case you want to move into a different industry, or even it's within your industry a little bit, but you just haven't done that thing yet. For my company, we have never done roofing. So we are going after roofing contracts with a really good roofing company to expand our past performance to make it make sense for all of us. So, we have our set asides. We do the paperwork. A lot of companies, whether they're large or small, do not want to do the paperwork. They don't have a team to do the paperwork, and they live maybe in the commercial side or the corporate side, so they don't know how to fill out government documents. So that's a good way to expand yourself out a little bit more in order to stay strategic, and so you can survive during this time of government contracting. Another thing is your pricing strategy. Oh my goodness. Pricing is like an Achilles heel for a lot of people, especially if you're in the service industry where you have to pay based on the wage determination or the Davis-Bacon law, which there's a minimum amount that you have to pay your employees for labor services. So when it comes to that, there's not a whole lot you can do about the price. You have to kind of still keep it competitive, but then also by law pay these people this amount for their work. So really you have to work on what your pricing is going to be. Now, if everything that you go after is always lowest price, and you'll never be that lowest price no matter what, even if you tried to partner or a team or subcontract, and it's always, you always get outbid by someone else because they always bid lower no matter how low you go, you may want to consider a different industry altogether. I've said this before in the past, but it's not advantageous for you to spin your wheels on going after contracts that you'll never win, because you're literally wasting time. Your time is money. When you're a business owner, your time is money. So you don't want to get into, I'm bidding and not winning. Well, then there's something that you're doing wrong. And that's when you always ask for a debrief. If you don't win a contract and you haven't been winning any, and you're going after the same type of stuff, like the same exact type of stuff, then chances are your prices are just too high, and you have to either go into a different industry or figure out how you're going to get your prices lower. Now, if it's multiple different types of contracts, it could be any reason why you don't win. Maybe you don't have the experience, or whoever you use didn't have the experience, or maybe they just didn't like you. That's just the way it is, okay? So your pricing is super, super important, because it can make or break your government contracting journey. Because even if you are winning contracts and your pricing is not good, then and you're breaking even, that's going to catch up to being where you're paying the government or you're paying whatever company to do the work. So you're not getting paid anything. You're actually paying out of pocket money that you don't even have, really. So, and it comes out very, very easily when you have an accountant and you're running your numbers, and it doesn't add up. So pricing strategy is the only way that you will survive. I mean, truly, over everything else. Pricing. Figure out how you can get your pricing to where it works with, every contract is different, but there still should be some sort of margin that you use, whether some people do 2% margin, which is crazy. I've done that before. Or it could be 40% margin of profit, and that's after overhead. So, there's a lot of different standards that people use, and you can use calculators online and that type of thing, but it really is contract based, because there's certain things that go into play that may not go into play for another contract. For example, if you are doing a contract where it does have the wage determination and the Davis-Bacon law, where your reports have to be submitted through the Department of Labor, and they're checking to make sure that these prices are the correct amount, or you're just hiring a sub and you're just paying them a flat fee, there's going to be a significant difference in your profit margin or your overhead. So, there's different things to look at. That's why every contract is different. So the only way for you to survive: pricing, past performance, changing your strategy, okay? So that's the long and the short of it. And we have our subscription service that we just rolled out that I'm so excited about, where we have 3 tiers of subscriptions, where we find opportunities for you and send them to you. We design opportunities to you and send it for you to submit. And then my favorite, where we design and put everything together, find opportunity, completely write the proposal, and make sure that you are proposal ready when it's time for you to submit, and then you go off and do great things and win contracts. So we got several clients already that jumped on this early subscriber price, because of course the price is going to go up, because we're still in the first month of this thing, and we had such a great turnout already in the first week. So we want to get as many people as we can before we go ahead and get out of the early subscriber stage, okay? So, and I have my GovConNOW course, where I teach you about federal contracting, local contracting, and corporate contracting. I have a lot of stuff for my veterans as as well. So everything is in the description. And if you have anything you want to share as far as like how you've been able to survive in 2025, please put them in the comments, because I want to hear everything that you guys are going through, because sometimes, you know, you forget what's going on in the other parts of the world, other parts of the country, and I want to hear what you guys have to say. Or if there's any video that you want me to talk about or expand on and expound on, please also leave that in the comments. So until next time, it is your favorite veteran.